Now, you're thinking of moving to Reno or Sparks, Nevada, and you're looking to buy a brand new construction home, and you're wondering what the pros and cons are. Well, in this video, we're gonna break down the pros and cons to buying a brand new construction home in Reno or Sparks, Nevada. There are definitely some big pros and some big cons as well. And make sure you stick around to the very end because I'm gonna give you a very important tip. If you're new to the channel and you wanna learn everything there is to know about Reno, Sparks, and Northern Nevada, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I get people just like you reaching out to me every single day, looking to make the move to Northern Nevada, and I absolutely love it. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or move to Reno or Sparks, Nevada, and you need some help, all my information will be down in the description below. I look forward to making this move as easy as possible for you. The first and biggest pro I would say is that you can customize or upgrade your home, but this can also be seen as a pro and as a con. And this is also going to vary from builder to builder because certain builders like D.R. Horton and Lennar, you're pretty limited in your upgrade options, such as D.R. Horton. They typically build express communities within the Reno Sparks area, and you can't really pick any options. So if you want a different color countertop or interior or exterior color, you're typically going to have to pick a different home or lot. With Lennar, it's going to be a little bit different as well, and you're going to have a little bit more customization options, such as being able to pick your flooring, kitchen countertops, and cabinets, and even paint. But as you can see, that's also still pretty limited. I personally own a Lennar home and I love it, and I like that it was very simple through the design process. But if you buy from a builder like Ryder Homes or Toll Brothers, such as Toll Brothers, you're going to have a semi-custom option, meaning you can change structural options, turning a fourth bedroom into a fifth bedroom, or maybe that office into a bedroom, and you're going to have a wide range of options in the home, possibly putting up a wall in the great room to change it from an open dining area to a closed off office. But like I said, this is seen as a huge pro and as a huge con because with every builder and the upgrades that you make in the home comes a pretty price tag. So it all just depends on what you're going to want to do, and even if that builder is currently building a home in the area that you like. Another pro to buying a new home is that they're going to have modern fixtures and modern amenities and technology. And what I mean by this is typically most of the new home builders these days are going to put in LED lights throughout the home, smart thermostats that can be controlled through Wi-Fi and your phone, which make it super convenient. Most of them are going to have a Ring doorbell or another type of video doorbell at the front, so you can easily monitor your home or see if the Amazon driver is at your front door. You can also typically upgrade the security and camera options at the builder as well if you want to sign up for that extra service. Another huge benefit to buying a new construction home is peace of mind, meaning fewer repairs and a warranty. Pretty much every builder in Northern Nevada is going to offer a 1-year warranty that covers almost anything minus typical wear and tear of you living in the home. If you nick up the wall during moving, they're not going to come and fix the wall or paint it just because you hit it during moving. Sometimes they do, but most often not, they will call that wear and tear, and that's totally understandable. And every builder is going to have different warranties in regards to foundation and structural options. Some range from about 7 to 10 years for foundation and structural warranties, and they typically offer plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and other warranties that range anywhere from 2 to 4 years after closing on the home. It's really going to be builder specific, so make sure you get that USB drive or that PDF from your new home construction builder. The last pro for buying a brand new home is that overall the process is fairly easy. It's typically much easier than buying a resale home where you do inspections on your home, get some repairs done, negotiate with the seller, and then close. If you're paying cash, it is extremely easy. You usually just go to the design center after giving your deposit, pick your designs or options in the home, then you do a typical walkthrough about 1 to 2 weeks before closing, and then you do another final walkthrough typically the day of closing, and that is pretty much it when buying a new construction home. Buying a new construction home is also fairly easy. I would say the process is typically easier than buying a resale home, where you have to get an inspection, an appraisal, you have to get some repairs done, and possibly negotiate with the seller after the inspections. With a new home builder, it's typically a pretty streamlined process. If you're getting a loan, it's going to take a little bit longer, of course, because you have to provide your lender with a bunch of documentation, but if it's cash, it's fairly straightforward. You're going to put your deposit down, go into contract and you're going to start picking your upgrade or selections in the home, then you're typically going to do a walkthrough about 1 week before closing. They're going to fix up any issues that you found on that walkthrough, and on the last day of closing, you're going to go over some of those repair items that they could have fixed in that time period. Now you're a brand new construction homeowner. There are definitely some cons to buying a new construction home in Reno or Sparks, and I think this is the biggest con for me, is that you're going to have higher property taxes. You're going to be looking at about 1% of the purchase price. So if you're looking at a $500,000 brand new construction home in Reno or Sparks, you're going to be looking at about 1% of the purchase price, which is going to be roughly $5,000. Could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more, but 1% of the purchase price is a pretty good rule of thumb. If you're going to be buying an older resale home that's 10 years old or even older, your property taxes are going to be significantly less. So I definitely recommend talking to your lender, looking up the property taxes on older resale homes to see what fits within your budget. Another huge con to buying a new construction home is that there's going to be more upfront costs. Typically when buying a new construction home in the area, builders typically don't pay transfer taxes or HOA setup fees, which means you're going to have higher closing costs in the end when closing on your home. You're also typically going to have to buy a washer, dryer, and fridge, which are additional expenses. You're not going to have window coverings typically as well. So that's another $2,000 to $5,000 if you're putting on some pretty basic blinds, and obviously significantly more if you're going to put on some plantation shutters or something else. But the biggest expense when buying a new construction home is going to be backyard landscaping. I would say 99% of builders in the Reno and Sparks area offer free front yard landscaping. There's only one small builder that I know locally that makes you put in the front and backyard landscaping, but typically if you're buying at D.R. Horton, Lennar, Toll Brothers, Silverado, Ryder, or even Genuine, you're just gonna have to deal with backyard landscaping. But this can be a significant expense depending on the size of your backyard. So if you're worried about that, talk to a landscaper before going into contract and get a rough estimate on what the backyard might be. But I would say, depending on the size, you could be anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 or $60,000. And on the much higher end, if you're looking at third of an acre, quarter of an acre, or especially if you're looking at half-acre lots, which aren't really that common. But like I said, this is a big con for me, is that there are significantly more upfront costs when buying a new construction home. And I actually own a 2019 Lennar home, and I'm currently in the process of buying a new Toll Brothers home. So I do prefer new construction homes, but these are definitely some big cons. Another con to buying a new construction home is the time frame and possible delays. If you have all the time in the world and a 2 to 12 month build time works for you, then it's perfectly fine. Certain builders like D.R. Horton with their express communities have homes that are typically ready in 30 to 60 days. If you're building from dirt at Lennar, it's typically about 4 to 6 months. And for certain Toll Brothers communities, it can range anywhere from 9 to 12 months, depending on the specific community. So if you're looking for something that can close within 30 to 90 days, new home construction might not be the best option for you. But that doesn't say that there won't be something available. Lennar typically has some standing inventory, so does D.R. Horton, and Toll Brothers also typically has some quick move-in homes that can generally close within 1 to 4 months, depending on what they have available. Another big one with new construction is possible delays. If your home is closing in the fall or the winter months, or maybe even the earlier parts of spring, and we have a bad winter, this could definitely delay your home anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks, depending on the kind of winter that we have. I personally closed on my home in 2019 in December, and our home wasn't delayed at all, but we also had a pretty mild winter. So it really just depends on what's going on with the weather in the winter months. Another big con for me when buying a new construction home are the upgrades. And this was also a pro, but it's definitely a big con. And it's really going to depend on which builder you go with. If you go with a builder like D.R. Horton, which typically builds express communities or express homes where you can't actually choose any of the upgrades, you can completely skip this part and move on, because like I said, if you want a different color scheme or countertop, you're typically gonna have to pick a different home and a different lot. If you're buying a Lennar home in the area, they say everything is included, but you still have some options such as flooring, kitchen countertops, cabinets, and paint. But you can still spend a pretty penny on upgrading your countertops and cabinets. I think last time when we built our first Lennar home, we only spent about $5,000 to $7,000 on upgrading the countertops and cabinets. But one of the biggest expenses at any builder is going to be upgrading your flooring. If you upgrade just the basic carpet and pad, it's typically not too expensive, But if you're looking at upgrading the entire flooring in the house from some basic tile or carpet to some nice porcelain tile that looks like wood, nice LVP or possibly hardwood throughout, you could potentially be spending anywhere from $25,000 to $90,000 on flooring through the builder. So please keep that in mind. Certain builders like Toll Brothers are also gonna kind of nickel and dime you on certain things, like the man door that I am buying in my current Toll Brothers home. Basically the door that you put your trash outside of is gonna be about $3,000. So just keep in mind when buying a home, talk to an agent or a sales agent at the specific builder and say, typically what do buyers spend on upgrades for these homes to get a general idea. Another con for me is that when you're buying a new construction home, you're not gonna have mature landscaping. So if you love beautiful greenery, mature landscaping throughout your neighborhoods, you're typically not gonna have that with a new construction home unless they are built just on the outskirts of some very well-established neighborhoods. I currently live in Damani Ranch and I absolutely love it because a good majority of Damani Ranch was built in the early 2000s. So we have a ton of gorgeous landscaping, trees and medians, parks, beautiful and gorgeous wetlands, gorgeous views of Mount Rose, and I absolutely love it. But the downside with buying new construction is that they're typically going to be on the outskirts of certain communities or maybe new entire communities in itself, and they're not going to have mature landscaping. Another con for me when buying a new construction home is possible location. Sometimes with new construction homes, they start entirely brand new communities that don't have a ton of things around it. If you want a super well-established neighborhood like Collin Ranch, certain parts of the Southwest, Damani Ranch, you're typically not going to find too many new construction homes left in the area. But if you go to certain areas like Sparks, they're going to have a ton of new construction homes, but they are also building certain new communities and they might not have a ton of other stuff around it. Another small con for me when living in a new construction community was that depending on the phase or how many months or years you have left in the community, you can be dealing with construction noise and dust for either several months or several years, so keep this in mind. And another annoying part with living in a new construction community is that you might get a possible nail, screw, or small piece of metal in your tire. You might have to get it patched or possibly get a flat. This has definitely happened to me several times over the years. This is the biggest tip I can give you when buying a new home in Reno or Sparks. Make sure to get outside representation and your own agent that doesn't work for the builder. I don't care if it's me or any other agent in the Reno Sparks area, just make sure that you're protected and make sure that your agent has a proven track record and experience when selling new homes. And if you ever have an issue with the builder and that builder's agent and you don't have an outside agent, they're typically not going to go to bat for you because that builder's agent is employed by the builder. Their best interest is to do everything in the best interest of the builder. Your best interest is not good for them. So keep that in mind. Use any agent you want, just make sure they have experience and a proven track record. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video on the pros and cons to buying a new construction home in Reno or Sparks. If you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, or possibly moving to Reno or Sparks and you need some help, all my information will be down in the description below. I look forward to making this move as easy as possible for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.